Hello, Poppet. I hope you're well. Right, we're talking about validation today, and validation from other people is such a largely overrated thing in our society that we just deem as being normal. Every photo we post, every statement we make, and everything we do on social media, especially these days, has become scrutinised and become so exaggerated and overrated that just one nasty negative comment can literally break somebody's world. We take so much of what other people say to heart that we literally rely on it like fuel to our own fire. Every click or like on your picture is a dopamine hit that keeps you on a loop of addiction, coming back for more, just one more, said they have they liked that picture. In reality, when we have been through childhood trauma or grown up with judgmental parents, it can take 7 positive affirmations from a person to rule out just one negative comment, and I will say this many times over. If somebody puts a nasty comment on your picture and you have seen 7 other people like that post, your mind will automatically exaggerate the negativity instead of focusing on that positive 7. Because of my childhood trauma, I was always looking for validation outside of myself, always approval and reassurance. I simply could not form my own thoughts, my own actions, because they largely based on upsetting a whole household and starting fights and arguments. I had to really be cautious and needed validation and approval from other people to see whether I was doing things right all the time. That's why I'm a perfectionist now. In reality, the people I was looking for validation and approval from were probably the worst role models that you could ever meet. They were the worst people that you could ever come across. They was abusive, nasty, manipulative, physically abusive, lying and evil. And yet all I did was look up to them for approval. I was even looking towards physical intimacy as validation and love, when in actual fact, physical intimacy and love and validation have nothing to do with each other. It's just because we have found attraction, it does not mean to validate ourselves. In many minds, it does actually devalue us because we were just being seen in a form of an outside point of view of our bodies, not our vessels, rather than actually what's in our hearts. It's actually taken me 45 years to get to this point where I do not need anybody's outside validation. It's a very strong stature to stand in, and it scares people because I have taken criticism from people that I wouldn't take advice from. And that's the best advice I've ever heard. You have to look at somebody and think, would I want your life and your morals and how you live? No. So why would I take advice from you then? There's your answer. So you're going to let them come into your life and devalue you? I don't think so. And that's the problem with social media. There's so many filters, hidden lives, and we don't get to see it. The issue is that we're still out there wanting validation from these strangers we don't even know. They could be psychos. We don't know their morals or their stories behind them. Your biggest critic and your biggest bully and your biggest ally is yourself. It is that person looking back at you in that mirror and need to work on your relationship with yourself instead of looking for outside validation, because you will always be hungry for approval if you are seeking it from others. When you finally accept yourself and look inside and become self-aware, you will realize that you do not need outside validation. These people don't even know themselves, so they're going to judge you from different eyes all the time. Your validation is all you need inside yourself. Once you secure that internal validation and start making yourself feel better, you will begin to build on things, experimenting and using your creativity, which is a wonderful thing in today's world. You will eventually realize that you do not need validation of others. It's all about being happy with yourself and not relying. One of the things over the years with my healing, my childhood trauma, is I've realised that perfectionism is one of the biggest crutches that I've had to deal with for years. I've now come to a realisation that because I had to be perfect when I was a child, because my behaviour disrupted the whole household because of my emotionally volatile mother, She has done a lot of damage. In fact, I've now got to be perfect. I was a people pleaser. I am now intelligent to a fault, and people hate me for it because I can't help it. I've had to become this intelligent. People are jealous of me because of my intelligence and my creativity, and it's just been a building of my personality over the years. I've had to develop it from my childhood trauma. Kindness, forgiveness, creativity and intelligence. I'm overly good at new things I try because I knew that I could not fail when I was a child. I knew that it would have ended up in an explosive, volatile situation in my household if I did. Not all of us have been through childhood trauma, so most can't understand. But whenever we are brought up as children in the system we're living in, we are programmed to think and feel that we need validation all the time from outside. This starts straight away from the age of 4 when we first go to nursery. Will people like me? Then continues as we progress to preschool, making friends and mingling. We're always looking for validation from our work, our behaviour, our presentation. It's always around us. It is drummed into us from such a young age to be validated by others, and if you're not, you're the problem. And the problem with that is when you have a teacher who personally doesn't like you and takes a dislike, it can really hurt your self-esteem as you get older, and it can stay with you. We all had that one teacher who didn't like us for some reason or another. And then we have the teacher's pets who can't do nothing wrong. It has nothing to do with your work or your ability. It's just about who people like and don't like. And it's really damaging, especially as a child. It's about validation all the time. We're constantly looking up to people wanting validation from them over and over again. That is burned into our minds, and we deal with it for the rest of our lives, like I just said. We can go on and we can look for the same constant validation. We look for it in a partner, our parents, teachers, friends, strangers, people online. It's constant. We're always looking for something outside of ourselves, something to fill that void that will never be filled by other people. You have to fill that void yourself. What you have to remember is that everybody is judgmental. It's just human nature. Everyone sees the world through the vision that they have and the experiences that they have had over their own lifetime as well. As a result, we all see the world very differently. Everybody is just filtering from their own vision and what their reality is. I used to hate this saying, but it is so true. Your reality is not the same as mine. We have to remember that every encounter, every person we meet, if they don't like us for some reason, it's just literally our spirit is irritating their demons. I love that saying. And then it's simply nothing you can do about that. Just your aura can irritate some people. You can try to be as nice as you possibly like, but to them, but if there's nothing they can take to like of you, then you're never going to change that and they're never going to like you. So what's the point of going out of your way for the validation of these people that probably you don't even like either? There's nothing you can do to redeem yourself. The act of validation is proving, confirming and officially approving that something is true, correct or acceptable. The exact meaning depends on your context. It is about acknowledging somebody's feelings, thoughts and experiences. This is what I have said in my other video about oversharing. It's like my video about oversharing for childhood trauma, because it all comes from other people's outside point of view. And what you have to remember with childhood trauma is that if somebody has not lived it and gone through it, they cannot meet you at your level of depth or hurt or emotional intelligence and understanding of it. So that's what you have to remember, all aside of just everyday life. Again, only very recently, I've come to really like the term, people can only meet you as deeply as they meet themselves. And you'll probably hear me say this in many of my other videos. This really hit home to me. I started doing research on it and realised it means that if someone hasn't been through a specific experience, or if they have but decided to shut down, then they haven't developed the empathy, compassion needed to meet you at your depth of where you are on your feelings and your emotions. Blimey. So as the saying goes, some people cannot meet you as deeply as they meet themselves because they're not meeting their own trauma at a level. Everybody deals with trauma in their life. So this saying means that somebody's ability to understand, connect and reciprocate your vulnerability is limited to their own self-awareness. If they are unconscious and not self-aware, they are not going to be aware of your pain or theirs, and they have a limited mindset, so they will literally shut down on you. If someone has not processed their own emotions or done the shadow work, they are going to lack the internal capacity to hold space for you, let alone the self. That is what you have to remember. Everybody else sees you as a different version than they see yourself. Every single person you meet has a different version of you in their minds. To some people, you are absolutely amazing, you're wonderful, and to others, you are the devil incarnate. What we're going to do is drop our expectations, stop expecting a level of emotional depth and support from someone who isn't capable of offering it to you because they haven't done the inner work on themselves, they haven't done it. Again, as I've said, it depends on their experiences with their life as well. What you have got to remember is looks and experiences is how they would deal with a situation, and that's in their time as well. So people will process different things in different ways. So this is another thing you have to remember as well. What you have to do is look inside yourself and realise your own self-worth. That is the only way you're going to be able to work through it, because it's your biggest achievement. It's definitely mine, and it will make you heal yourself. You've got to work on yourself. You've got to look inwards, be self-aware, and giving yourself the validation that you would never find no matter how hard you look in this world. You've got to find it from yourself. Even if we meet the absolute dream perfect partner, there will still be something somewhere that is wrong with them and wrong with you. We're not all perfect. This will still be some sort of mismatch because there is no such thing as perfection. They could have smelly feet. It's like the saying goes, if you depend on people to build you up, you're also giving them the same power to break you down as well. We've got to be worthy without other people's validation. Another saying I've seen with an unknown author, is if outside validation is your only source of nourishment, you will hunger for the rest of your life. Ouch. Wow, that void is big. And if you are wanting somebody else to fill it, it's never going to be filled. People hate me for it and I can't help it. I've had no choice in the life I've had without people's validation around me. I've had no choice but to validate myself and my own true worth. And it has come from deep within. People actually look at my strength and they hate me for it, especially women. I've had to become this strong. I've had no option. With all I've gone through in my childhood and the people I've had around me, people I wanted to validate me through my life, I finally come to a point where I looked at them and I thought, wow, you have got no right whatsoever to even any judgment or criticise me in any way, shape or form. This is what you have to remember about people. They feel they have to tear others down to make themselves feel better and build themselves back up. If somebody tries to tear you down, you're above them. And they feel the need to be negative, jealous, nasty, because misery loves company. They will forever be pulling at your coattails, trying to pull you down. There's this saying that's really, I absolutely love it. And it's like the crab trying to get out of the bucket. And all the other crabs will try and pull that crab back down. Whenever you are trying to better yourself, people will actually criticise you rather than help you. They will see you want to get so far, but then they don't want to see you get any further. They don't want to see you get better than them. You have to remember this regarding content creators and people in similar positions. You're always going to get bullies and narcissists in your comments section trying to pull you down because it makes them feel better about themselves. They can't do the work on themselves. They actually literally ghosts themselves. They can't do the inner work. So this is why you must remember about life and people. The bloody funny things. You've got to stop and analyse their behaviour and dig a little deeper with life in general and itself. It always stays on the surface level and will never feed our soul. But if you want surface level, you will always have people lusting after your body, not your mind. This is what we all do. We all look at the outside surface of things, and people's criticism and judgment will be on the outside and always about your appearance. So what's that saying? It's always the people that go to church that are the most critical, or something like that. And there's the saints and the sinners, and what they've got to remember is the saints are always worse than the sinners. At least the sinners are honest. They're all critics in their own way, but they've got no right to be. They will use something that is self-righteous to make them feel better about themselves, while then treading on other people as they walk their path in life. There was a poster the other day that somebody put on, and it said something about, show a girl you don't care and she'll chase you. Show a woman you don't care and she'll replace you. It's all about validation. It's that constant hunger for other people. I actually commented saying, show a goddess you don't care and she'll build on herself. She doesn't need outside validation. The woman who does not require validation from anybody is the most feared individual on this planet. Powerful. That is one of the quotes online as well, and it's very true. It makes you quite scary to people on the outside. When you listen, you value the opinion. That opinion does not set stone on your personality. Confidence isn't, will they like me? Confidence is, I will be fine if they don't. It's like saying about walking into a room, people often think to themselves, I hope people will like me. When in actual fact, you have to think to yourself, will I like them? You've got to start reversing the roles. Stop bending your will to be liked by other people. It's a constant search for approval from other people all the time. We shouldn't live like that. We are living by other people's rules constantly, not our own. I don't care if people like me or not. The real problem is, do dogs like me? That's what I'm bothered about. It would really upset me if dogs didn't like me. If a dog doesn't like you, you know you're doing something wrong. Whereas if humans don't like you, it's actually, it really doesn't bother me. It's actually a good thing, to be honest. It's on them, not you. That's that. That's all that there is. It's just a perspective of other people onto you. So next time you find yourself looking at somebody and judging them, or the next time you find yourself with somebody and they're judging you, or you are seeking validation and approval from others, stop it. Stop. Because it will never serve you any good in this lifetime whatsoever. You have to validate yourself. And I will say it over and over again. I know that is easier said than done. It has probably taken me 12 years to validate myself. But then when I start looking at the people who have given me criticism over the years, especially when they start a smear campaign about me and blackening your name, they're doing it on purpose. You are the mirror to them. You are showing them what they are not. So they absolutely hate that. And that's the thing you've got to remember. If they are a bad person, they will blacken your name as much as they can. Then they will lie about you and to you. And what you have to remember is that there are people out there who are simply not good people. And if you're sitting there waiting for their validation, think again, because you will be waiting a very long time. Right, so my beautiful little puppet, take care of yourself. Look in the mirror and love yourself, because there is nobody out there who will love you the way that you will love yourself. Build yourself up, compliment yourself, and speak nicely to yourself. There are a lot of people in this world who want to bring you down, but they don't want to build you up. So you have to do it for yourself. Remember who you are and what your power is, because you've got the inner strength and you've got the inner power. You sit there and you say to me, no, I haven't. Yes, you have. You have. And you've just got to dig inside and find it. I love you very much. Till next time, take care.